So now the NFL season, the NFL regular season is over. I thought this would be a good time for me to talk about um, the upcoming vacancies in the NFL for head coaches. I'm looking at the obviously now the regular season is over. You can have a lot of a lot of the teams now are gonna be getting ready for the 2025 season, firing a lot of head coaches, a lot of. So I'm gonna talk about potential head coaches and where I think they're gonna be in 2025. I'm gonna start off with Ben Johnson. Now again, for the past year or two, year or so, maybe over a year or two, that Ben Johnson has been tipped for a head coaching job for a while. Especially last year, heavily last summer, he was tipped for an NFL head coaching job, and um, he was linked with a couple other teams. Did obviously stayed with the Lions, but again, you look at him. He's definitely the way he's got this Lions team offensively playing, how his schemes are working and stuff like that. He's definitely gonna have a job somewhere in NFL 25. So I want to break it down of really um, some teams where I think he's gonna go realistically and where he can really help. So let's start off. So also Ben Johnson, he was a former tight end for the Dolphins a number of years ago. That's where he started his coaching career in the NFL, being a tight end for the Dolphins. Then he came to the Lions in 2019. Again, you look back at that time when Brian Dabble when he came from when the Dolphins were for head coach a number of years ago, and they instead of going for Ben Johnson, they actually went for Brian Flores. Which again, yeah, Brian Flores has done good this season defensively, but again, look what he did in the Dolphins. Really stuck up the place. Ben Johnson was there and they didn't give him the head coaching job. He goes to the Lions, and really again, you've come into the Lions in 2022 as a as a defensive coordinator, where again, the last number of years we haven't been that good. We had Matt Patricia as our head coach. It's like, oh, everything's whatever. But yeah, since then, Jared Goff has been putting up some good numbers, 4,000, 3,000 to 4,000 passing yards the last two seasons. He's been really getting the best out of Jared Goff, the likes with Jamar Gibbs and all these other offensive minded players. And I'm looking at really where it could go. So I'm going to say first with the Saints. The Saints, there's a lot of problems in New Orleans, especially at the quarterback position. They need to get the quarterback position right. And I think, again, I like what they have offensively with Kamara, Miller, Juwan Johnson. I like that core they have, but they need to really address the quarterback position. And you're looking at the salary cap as well. I think they're over the salary cap as well. If I'm not wrong, yeah, the roster needs addressing it. They have Chris Olave, but yeah, the roster needs kind of an overhaul. Like you're looking at the salary cap, they're over the salary cap. That does need addressing. So again, Saints will be good. It just depends what they do in the draft, quarterback wise. Because again, you don't really want to have a 34-year-old Derek Carr as your starting quarterback when it's 2025. So the next team after that, I had maybe the Raiders. So the Raiders, kind of like the Saints here, really just fired as I'm recording this on Tuesday night. Fired Antonio Pierce, which again I've been predicting that for a while. Antonio Pierce got fired. There's a lot of problems with the Raiders. It's just been like that probably since the Al Davis days, especially when the late Al Davis days when he was doing all that, people staying on for too long, hiring the wrong people, and but again they have a couple of like Brock Bowers. Again, he's been impressive this year. So again, the Raiders, but again they need to really fix the quarterback position because they've had Rattler and they've had Aiden O'Connell. It's like, yeah, he's coming to an absolute dumpster fire. So I don't think there. And then I've gone for really and then the next team I'm going to talk about here is the Bears. The Bears, I mean, he's been heavily linked with the Bears, Ben Johnson. But again, it's like, do you really trust fucking the Bears front office to get this right? And really, why the fuck would he come to the Bears? To be honest, because you look at him, like again, he never really worked with the he's never really worked with a rookie quarterback. I know he's had Hendon Hooker to an extent, but he's never really developed a young quarterback. But yeah, I think it'd be good for Caleb Williams. They need to really, if Ben Johnson goes to Chicago, they really need to get 4 starters. That has to be the thing. Brian Poles has to go. That's the only way Ben Johnson succeeds in Chicago. And then the last 2 teams, I went for the Patriots, especially with Jared Mayo getting fired and Drake May. Now, this is probably the perfect. It's either the Patriots or he goes to the Jags. It's kind of one of the two here. So for the Patriots, they have a quarterback in Drake May who looks like the guy, but there's a lot of things they need to address. Offensive line, improve on the weapons, improve on the defensive side of the ball. So there's a lot of things going on there, but I do like that Patriots maybe and Ben Johnson fit right there. And then there's Jacksonville. Doug Pearson's left. They have a young roster. Trevor Lawrence. Let's see if he can get the best out of him. So yeah, those kind of some of my picks. But I think the best place for him, realistically, would be Jacksonville. I think Jacksonville's probably the best pick for Ben Johnson to go and see what he can do with Trevor Lawrence, because they have a good roster. It's like they just have Trent Baalke as a GM and Tony Khan owns them. It's like, yeah, it's not good. But yeah, they're my suggestions of where Ben Johnson should fit in the NFL or where he should get a head coaching job in 2025.